Did this YouTuber just figure out a crazy Easter egg that most of us did not notice? Let's talk about it. Shout out to Good Mythical Morning. I'm sure most of you guys who are watching this video were just like me and watched the PlayStation Showcase where we saw Marvel's Spider-Man 2's amazing new trailer. We got gameplay, we got cutscenes, we got a lot of stuff, some of which was more controversial than others, but one of the things that we did not get was a release date. Yes, I know that technically the trailer ended with this really cool moment here. I do really like this ending. I think it looks really neat the way that the spider logo gets engulfed in symbiote energy and then it looks like something like New Form sends it all away, but that's a story and a tangent for another time. More so we're focused on the date and how vague it still remains, and that would be fall of 2023. That would typically be the months of September, October, and November. So that gives us kind of a window, but it is a pretty wide window, of course, considering that it is a whole 3 months. Now, obviously, we do need to discuss the previously quote-unquote leaked, much more precise leaked release date, and that was from the voice of Venom himself a while back, replying to some tweets that have now been since deleted, where he literally went ahead and said that supposedly, according to what he had heard at the time, all the way back on March 21st of 2023, he was replying to a tweet and said that it looks like September, massive publicity coming in August, meaning that that's really when they would hype it up, and then commercials start dropping in August, or so he was told. Hold on to your know what and hold your breath. It's gonna be necessary. So obviously Tony Todd is very excited, as are all of us. And at the time of him replying to this tweet, I suppose he was under the impression that the game would be dropping in September. I will say that from what I have continued to gather information about a possible release date, some people have pointed towards September 29th as a possibility to happen, which would line up with the previous discussion from Tony Todd. It would line up with a fall release, and it would line up with the previous rumor of a PlayStation 5, a new PlayStation 5 model dropping in September as well. On top of that, Sony does have a tendency to release a lot of their big first-party releases on Fridays. That was the case actually for Marvel's Spider-Man, the original one that had dropped in 2018. It released on a Friday for September 7th. We saw the same thing happen with Horizon, but I also am aware of the fact that obviously there are sometimes exceptions to this rule where something like God of War Ragnarok actually dropped on a random Wednesday, which was just kind of surprising, on November 9th. And also, interestingly enough, Miles Morales actually released on a Thursday back in November 12th of 2020. The only reason why I'm focusing on all these different dates is because something was pointed out to me by a friend of mine, Manny, who sent me a tweet that went ahead and pointed to a video by Andy Reloads, who pointed out and spotted something quite interesting in the Marvel Spider-Man 2 trailer that I don't believe anyone before him had spotted. So if we look at the vehicle that is owned by Kraven's henchmen, you'll notice that there's a big giant widescreen display that they have on the inside, kind of as a console display. And in the bottom right corner of that display, Andy Reloads points out that he noticed and spotted a tag number, which says 00201123. And the interpretation there would be that, hey, is this a possible teaser of a release date being 20th of the 11th month of the year 2023? So could it be that Insomniac put the release date in front of us in this little teaser of a way, or an Easter egg type of way? Well, unfortunately for me, it's gonna be a no. I personally very much doubt that they would have revealed the date like this, or even teased it in this type of way. I know that, again, obviously it could turn out and pan out to be true, but I went into the calendar and the 20th of November breaks down to be a Monday. I just really hesitate to see Sony launch a big project like this on a Monday. That would be exceptionally rare from any sort of big release for an entertainment product happen on a Monday. It just seems like there's somewhat of a technical approach here where companies have done their research and know that it is best to release closer to the weekend because people will buy the product, or more likely to buy the product, and spend the weekend playing it. So I think that that would not be very likely to occur here. I truly believe that if Last of Us Factions was ready to go for this year, we would have gotten an actual release date confirmation of September for Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and then we probably would have gotten a release of Last of Us Factions sometime later in the year, like a November or December date to be their big holiday game. And to give Andy's theory a fair shot here, I mean, if Last of Us Factions is not happening, let's say this year, or maybe even at all, I do think that there is a chance that Sony will look at their release schedule and say, hey, even if Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is ready to go for September, we need something to fill the rest of the year there. So why not go on ahead and push it out a little further, like late October or maybe even November, in order to have a big release set for the holidays. Because let's be honest, during the holidays, people spend a lot of money on gifts, a lot of money on games, and they are much more likely to drop the extra dollars for Spider-Man. And the fact that they would also not have to compete against Starfield is an added bonus. So to surmise, for me personally, I still think that Marvel Spider-Man will be dropping in September. That's just my personal hunch. I think that the date of September 29th, which is kind of the rumbling date that I have heard from a couple of interesting people mention that before, I think that there's a very good chance that we will get to see Spider-Man drop on the 29th of September. I guess time will tell whether or not that pans out to be true, or maybe Andy surprised all of us and figured out something that Insomniac put right in front of us and none of us spotted, with the brand new release date being teased via this screen in Craven's vehicle. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Spider-Man will be dropping in September? Do you think it'll be dropping in November? Watch it end up releasing in October and we'll both be wrong. That will be pretty funny. But let me know what your guesses are for the release date for Marvel Spider-Man 2. And once again, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Oh, and I know a lot of you guys have actually been asking my opinion on the Peter Parker's Venom theory, so I actually did an in-depth video on that topic. And if you'd like to check out that video, it's currently available on your screen.